Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. They say a reset is coming. Don't believe me when I say it, but you might want to believe them when they're saying it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.91 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 1.8. Bitcoin 113,700 plus, Ethereum 4,100 plus, XRP is $2.89. Now y'all gonna make me buy this dip again, and then it's gonna dip even further because I bought the dip. Because isn't that what? That's the story of my life right there. So we're off 4% on the 24, and we're off 12.1 on the 7-day. My God, I'm slobbering on myself for the opportunity here, not financial advice. I know what I'm going to be doing after this video, and Miss Backup is not home. So guess what? She can't stop me. If she listens to this video, I'm a goner. Let's look at the range of price. My goodness, it dipped down to 287. Will you look at it? Now I'm really confirmed I'm doing it. What am I going to, who am I kidding? 287 to 304. Look, why do I have the confidence here? Again, not financial advice. I'm just explaining my digital perspectives, my investment perspective, right? When I'm looking at this, I'm saying, well, why is the market down? Because it's not just us, it's everything's down. Well, it's down because Congress took recess, right? God forbid they don't get a month off, right? So when they come back, I see all of this turning around and shooting through the roof. So I'm just looking at this as an opportunity for myself, and that's what I'm doing. No question about it. Now, yesterday, I highlighted the news here that there is U.S. saw highest layoffs since back in COVID. And this is important to note because that means a lot of you have to do something with your retirement, your 401k and other investments. And I tell you something, iTrustCapital has made it easier than ever to roll those over into your own self-directed, empowered back office. That's what you're getting here. Low cost, no monthly fee. Look, and then they've even got this is the IRA right here. They've got the IRA, and listen, it's not just crypto, it's gold and silver too. And you get the ability to control what goes on in your back office. This kind of empowerment is absolutely remarkable to feel, and you won't know it until you feel it yourself. If you haven't done this, look at where we're at right now. They're about to pass legislation. You could be making the greatest move for yourself in the future in your retirement than you ever have to date. So make sure you check out their IRAs and find out why they're the best. They're not good, they're the best. And then take a look at this. Premium custody accounts. iTrustCapital sat back and said, you know what? We'd like to offer an account that's not an IRA to our customers and others. And this way, they get the ability to move their cash and crypto in the account, trade all the assets you want to trade, 1% flat fee, get your institutional grade custody. You get all of that, no monthly fee, low cost, a whole bit, US based support, award winning, by the way. And I tell you, then you're going to have to understand that they made it a closed loop system, which means that you can only go out to your checking account in cash. This removes the attack vector of any bad actor should you or I click on something or give critical information to the wrong person. This is the best way to protect yourself if you're afraid of something like that. And you can start getting the best night's sleep you've had in crypto, because when I put my crypto assets on a platform, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for safety, security, right? I'm looking for all of those things first. They're paramount to me, and I know they are to you. So make sure you go to itrustcapital.com/XRP Army and use the code XRP6 at the bottom and get started today. You're going to love it. Now let's get into this. This is Senator Tim Scott, who's bringing the unified vision together for American dominance as the crypto capital of the world.
So when I talked about the team earlier, I know we're running out of time. When I talked about the team earlier, a couple really important points. You think about the administration, you got Paul Atkins over there. We have Slacks over there. We now have at the Fed, Mickey Bowman, who's over there. And then you have people like me and French Hill in the Senate and the House running our committees, we now have a team that's leaning in, and we feel like we have to get it done now. Executive action is not enough, period. If one president hated it, this one loves it, we need a Senate and a House that gets legislation passed.
That's exactly right. And that's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as they get back here. Uphold says the lesson isn't in the run-up, it's in the reset. And you know what? It reminds me of Wayne Gretzky's famous quote, I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. Investing in crypto isn't about where we are now. It's about where we're going. A reset, baby. That's the truth. And in order to have that reset, we know the DTCC has a massive amount of liquidity, and we need to unlock it by tokenizing it and moving it on chain. And XRP and XLM are at the heart of the DTC new settlement and clearing strategies. This is a clip here. Now, we've gone over time and time again. Dan Dunny has told everybody Ripple, EOS, Ethereum, and other chains protocols. XLM is one of them now, too. And I'm super excited about that for them.
Okay, Raja, this came in. We talked a little bit about this through our presence where we sat on stage with DTCC and US or in Wisdom Tree. But a question came in asking about if we could elaborate on Stellar's involvement in DTCC's tokenization initiatives. What specific role does Stellar play? And is it actively contributing to the DTCC's tokenization efforts, and in what capacity? So I'll hand that one over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're big fans of the DTCC team. I think at the high level, as DTCC actively builds its infrastructure for on-chain tokenized settlement of traditional financial assets, Stellar is a compatible and supported layer one that's partnered in that effort.
Love that. That's what I wanted you to hear right there. And shout out to Rupert from All in Crypto. I did a X Spaces yesterday with him and Paul Barron. It was a great conversation, and I've got a clip of that you're going to want today. And then we see the support of this reset that's coming. The OCC says community banks can partner with stablecoin companies to drive innovation and offer new products. Comptroller Jonathan Gould notes stablecoins offer these institutions new ways to serve their communities' payment needs while the regulator updates supervisory frameworks. And Jonathan Gould comes from the crypto camp. He is a crypto supporter and advocate. So this is a great move. It adds to the team inside the administration to get this done. Just like this guy right here. This guy may go down as one of the greatest SEC chairs to ever sit in that chair for the second time.
So the good thing is we have a president who has thrown down the gauntlet. I mean, he's not shrinking from this, and he understands the importance of it. He said it many times himself, even before he got into office here most recently. So, he wants to make America, the world running on American technology and make America, the crypto capital of the world. So that's a pretty, that's a pretty good goal, I think, and a challenging one. So we at the SEC and our little patch, it's an important patch of it, need to be forward-thinking. And again, with this President's Working Group and David Sachs and Bill Hines, who are leading that, I think that's been, and Treasury that has taken the pen to it. I think that's great. Has written down a whole, we've forged a whole bunch of to-dos from that. And so we'll be, attacking that, and already are.
There you have it. There is no shying away from this post-election. This is a clear embrace. And today, the U.S. Treasury has issued a request for public comment on the Genius Act, seeking input on the innovative methods to detect illicit activity involving digital assets. So they're looking to protect the networks that they're about to embrace. And here is a very, very big deal. This is Michelle Bowman from the Federal Reserve. Take a listen.
One recent development, Congress passing the Genius Act and the president signing it into law, has brought stablecoins to the forefront of many discussions. And they're now positioned to become a fixture in the financial system.
They're now positioned to be a fixture in the financial system. This is not going back the other way.
Implications and opportunities for the traditional banking system, including the potential to disrupt traditional payment rails.
The potential to disrupt traditional payment rails.
Congress has tasked the banking agencies with creating a regulatory framework for stablecoins, and we're working with our colleagues in the other agencies to move this forward. It's essential that banks and regulators are open to engaging in new technologies and departing from the overly cautious mindset. Regulators must understand new products and services and recognize the utility and necessity of embracing technology in the traditional financial sector.
Oh, listen to that part again.
And recognize the utility and necessity of embracing technology in the traditional financial sector.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Michelle Bowman from the Federal Reserve. And here she is again.
As Congress overwhelmingly supported the passage of the Genius Act, these are very acceptable activities, and they're, of course, legal because we're working on developing frameworks that will allow for digital assets to exist both inside and outside the banking system in a way that is unquestionably allowable activity.
There you have it. Again, Fed Governor Michelle Bowman calls digital assets legal and permissible activities. Oh, well, and here is a excerpts from my conversation with All in Crypto. Shout out to Rupert and shout out to Paul Barron from Paul Barron Network. And it was a great conversation. And here's some of my thoughts here. And remember, this is not just crypto. This is a reset.
Let's just pull back a little bit from you said stablecoin wars, Paul, is so spot on, right? Well, let's pull back a little more here. You know, there is a bill known as the Anti-CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act that's waiting to go through. And that's very important because everyone knows that that is going to stop the Federal Reserve from being able to issue a digital dollar a la stablecoin or CBDC, which I love. None of us want it. We don't want any of that. It's pretty clear none of us want that. We're smart enough to know to keep that out. But there's a larger point here. To me, what I'm seeing is that the Federal Reserve clearly knows that they're being shut out of participating in the new digital on-chain economy. So you have to ask yourself, who's going to be the Federal Reserve of the new digital on-chain economy? And I think it's Ripple. And I think it's Ripple because they also have the escrow, which makes them a lender of last resort, a la a central bank for the new digital on-chain economy. And I think that's a larger narrative that we're seeing, and it could play into why we're seeing the pushback and the fight from Jerome Powell at the Fed without discussing it publicly that he's mad with this administration, because they know that the door is being shut on them to participate in this new digital world we're moving to. Well, you know, it's quite a remarkable conversation and question you're asking there, Paul. That is like, woo, that is the biggie, right? Everybody wants to know, right? You know, first of all, escrow by definition means that you're holding funds for a third party. So right out of the gate, it's Ripple and somebody else is by definition of the word escrow itself. That is quite interesting. So you have to wonder how much of the XRP and escrow could potentially be earmarked for the largest economies of the world, like the G7 and G20. And if you start to look at the proliferation of the XRP ledger and what stable coins are showing up already on the ledger, a good portion of them are G20 nations with the largest economies of the world. So when I look at that, I have to ask myself, how much of that escrow could be earmarked? Because we know from back in the day, history tells us, Greg Kidd had a pre-allocated option contract. We know that R3 had a pre-allocated option contract of 5 billion XRP. Do we think for a second that they are the only two entities that were smart enough to earmark and get a pre-allocated option contract for exposure to XRP for future use in the new digital on-chain economy? Now, let's assume that all of that's not real. Let's assume for a second, change gears, that, okay, none of that's real. It's all in the escrow and it doesn't belong to anybody. Okay, great. Then let's just assume what Sal Gilberti said on your show, Paul, that they hold the escrow, and then they announce when they get their banking charter in the Federal Reserve master account that we're no longer going to sell any more XRP. And the only XRP available is what's loose liquidity out floating on the exchanges. Thank you for coming. Right? I mean, we don't know which way it'll go, but it's super exciting knowing that these two things, I think, are the primary questions that need to be answered.
There you have it. I'll let you go with, you tell me where we're going. Because right now we see SWIFT to begin live digital asset trials in November of 25, according to Smoke Dog here. And he brings the fire, handling 150 trillion in transactions. The global financial messaging network SWIFT is set to take a major step towards integrating digital assets with traditional finance, starting this November. In just a couple months, SWIFT will launch live trials that will allow the use of digital assets and tokenized currency transactions across its network, which currently handles over 150 trillion in transactions each year. So I say to you, I skate to where the puck is going, not where it has been. Investing in crypto isn't about where we are now. It's about where we're going. And where we're going at my house is a reset, baby. A monetary reset. On the close front, if you're scared, say you're scared because the price is dipping. We need to close August above $3.30, ladies and gentlemen, and that will give us a launch pad for the upward surge we're looking for. And that upward surge could be a 777% rally to $28 if all things fundamental news fall into place the way we need them to. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the Freedom Zone, and today is a really good one today. I'm big on motivation. I'm big on discipline. I'm big on putting things to work. And I got something for you today that we can put to work. No question about it. You can join us too. Just click the link underneath the video and come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else.